The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
And I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
Hey, Nick, go handle our light work.
Bowl games matter.
I would like a cold cut sandwich. You can call him Eamon Owens because he ain't got no D and he ain't got no J.
James Madison.
Turn your body cams off. Do what you do.
Hey, everybody, what is going on? It is Tuesday night. That means it is time for another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, is Scott. Scott, how you feeling tonight, man?
Pretty good. Just now realized I need to put my hat on. But other than that, I'm great. God, nobody wants to see that hairline. Holy hell.
Between that and your face chroma keying out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, my shiny face, it's a great start. Great start. But other than that, I'm doing swell. How are you?
Great, man. Great. I had a good Labor Day. We took the kids to the pool, and I broke my toe. So it was a great day overall. Good times. Good times.
Fun? Like your big toe?
Pinky toe.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah. You know when you like accidentally kick a table and then you're like, I think I broke my toe. Well, I did that. And then I was like, I think I broke my toe. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, oh, shoot. No, I really did break it. Damn it. It's not good.
I can't tell you how much abuse my pinky toe takes on either foot. So much so that I don't know if there's ever actually been nails on either of them. Like they're perpetually just black and blue. And I'm like, if I could just live my life 2 centimeters more to the left or right, I'd be fine. But I'm always catching my pinky toe on something. That shit sucks.
It's the worst, man. It's the worst. Not fun at all. But here we are, Sarah saying I could have had Alaska vodka and pie. Damn. It's way better than a broken toe. Mookie's here. Shit. He's drafting a fantasy.
Hey, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jonathan Taylor, like 6th pick overall, board's wide open. Where do we go? Man,
Dynamite dropping, Mookie.
Don't care.
Help over here. God, this is tough.
I would go Breece Hall.
Yeah, you got to go with the running back that early, right? Like,
well, I mean, if he falls to 6, I mean, yeah, I would.
Oh, there you go.
Here's a pet peeve of mine. I can't stand when somebody asks fantasy football advice with no background information at all about the league, what the structure is, what the setup is. Is it PPR? Is it 2 quarterback? Like what's the league? Not fair. They're like, "Ooh, 6th pick, board's wide open. What do you go with there, huh?"
I mean, I can give you details if you were going to be that sophisticated about it. I could have told you it's Yahoo, standard league, 12 teams, snake draft. I'm smack dab in the freaking middle. It's the goddamn worst. I know nobody cares, Gabe, but that's why I was going to use you all to draft my team, because if you do not care at all, you're still probably going to pick a better team than me, who's like trying to do well and has opinions, because I've like double, triple biased myself into terrible picks.
Also, to be fair, I want to point out that you threw out all of that info, and it wouldn't change Mike's answer. Like, Mike's like, well, I need the details to be able to give you an actual answer because I can't stand when people – but I know how Mike plays fantasy. None of that would change anything about it. He'd be like, you just throw out a name.
Steve Smith.
If he had given all that, I'd be like, you know what I hate? I hate when fantasy football people are like, oh, my league's a PPR league with 12 men. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care about your fantasy football. That's exactly how I would have played that, Scott. You're 100% right. You know me too well. Speaking of pinky toes and gross pinky toes, Joe Hall's here. Joe, what's up, man?
Check it out. We're in landscape. Look at
you.
Look at
wow. That's
green,
big.
Baby.
Also, Joe.
I feel like a boomer who's finally figured out technology.
You'd look like a boomer with this like low angle, like looking up at.
Look, I don't. My tripod and stuff is still in the cart. I've been doing an interview with the local newspaper here, and so I have to
interview the newspaper. That also sounds boomer.
Oh my God, is that creepy? Joe, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, I almost forgot how to log into the show and everything because it's been forever.
It's hard, man.
Because
It's
you
hard to
guys don't
figure
like
out.
me. You guys don't like me and don't want me on the show except for once a month. Mike told me in a message that you guys don't like me.
8:05. 8:05. I was wondering when it would be, but 8:05.
I'm surprised it went that long. I'm not gonna lie.
We love you, Joe.
I almost texted Joe and be like, none of this self-deprecating bullshit when you're on, all right? Like, none of the Joe
It's just
shit.
talking shit to you guys. I was actually going to have I had my sunglasses, but since I was talking to the firefighters and the newspaper guy, I was going to come in with like the rock eyebrow and be like, finally, Joe Hall has come back to Craft Root Sports.
You should have. That would have been great.
I know. It would have been an actual dynamite drop in, except for Monty or Mookie's excellent fantasy football drop in.
Yeah. Well, Mookie tends to Mookie it. Sarah wants to know, did Mookie also move your buttons, Joe? And that's why you had trouble getting on to the show?
He moves all of my buttons.
Okay, well, and 8:06. There we go. Scott, that's the other bet cashes. Joe complains about not being on the show, and Joe makes a creepy comment. If you had those unders, congratulations, cash those tickets.
Life's too short to bet the under, except in this situation. Exactly.
There's only two times I bet the under: when we're betting on Joe Hall being creepy on the show, and when we're betting on the amount that Mookie is cashing out at the end of the month. It's always
betting on Joe Hall pooping on the side of the road.
That's the over. That's the
Ooh, actually, Mike,
way over.
You're gonna be pissed, man. I cashed out money.
What? Is that on the account that they were closing down and you were forced to cash out?
It is, yeah. And the kicker of it all is they sent it to me in Bitcoin, so I can't even fucking do anything with it. Like,
rough. That's rough.
What are you gonna do with $15 in Bitcoin?
Where are you gambling that? You know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. Derek saying Joe creepy? No way. So.
That is awesome. That's Derek from Morgantown Fire. I told him to check in and he can watch this show.
So clearly he already knows you well.
He tried to climb in the bed with me.
Right.
And who wouldn't?
I didn't kick him out either.
And if you've got the Joe creepy reference over, you had the under on the time and the over on the references. You're hitting tonight. We got an awesome show for you tonight. A lot of college football to get to. We got to laugh at Brian Kelly's tears. Miami was the players recruiting right on the field. It was great to see. We also have to talk about this poop bet, guys. Like this has swept the internet. It has taken over everything. We have to talk about this. I have one tiny baseball story. Rex, you'll be happy to know there is a tennis story that I've got in line for you tonight. And also Joey Chestnut doing Joey Chestnut things, but I need to know if it's a real record. Go ahead, Mookie.
We're on the clock again. Is 19 too early to take Patrick Mahomes? Like, do you really want to go that early with your quarterback?
Yes, it's too early.
I could still get Puka Nacua from the Rams, though.
You should do that at 19. Yes, do that. Do that.
Yeah, do that, or do Drake.
Take a kicker. Kicker at 19 is the best bet.
Puka Nacua.
Take Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker at 19.
Justin
Tucker. Barely even know her.
Take Trent Williams. Trent Williams at 19.
Now there's a pick.
Yeah. Another pick is if you check out DraftKings. No, I think it's FanDuel. One of them is offering a prop bet that they boosted to plus 100 on whether Travis Kelce or Derrick Henry scores a touchdown on Thursday. So catch that free money, y'all, while it's out there.
Are we done? Are we good? Can we move
now.
on? Joe, is there a fire going on right now? Do you have to evacuate?
I gotta go. I got a cat in a tree. Let's go.
You gotta suit up. Now wait, are you allowed to ride in the fire truck to the fire, or do you have to walk the stroller to the fire?
I wish I could ride and go to the fire. I would totally help out. I don't even need gear. Just let me burn.
Hey, you're a grown ass man. No one can stop you from going anywhere. Do you just go?
I'm just gonna go drive the truck.
Hey, yeah, that's what I said. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about these beers that we are drinking tonight. We're rating them on Caesar's scale, dog or no dog. Scott, what is in your mug tonight, and is it a dog or not?
The adventure continues. This week, 450 North Brewing Company's Blue Moon Scoop, which is a slushy style sour. And this one I picked up because it's got the kitchen sink. We got blue raspberry, marshmallow, lemon, blue raspberry cotton candy, blue moon ice cream, and cherry. And let me tell you,
Nice.
I can taste every single flavor.
I'm calling bullshit on that. There's no way you can taste every single one.
I promise you, the only one, shockingly enough, in this sour that's not coming through as strong as the rest is the lemon. Like the lemon.
Do you also taste the
weakest
diabetes?
flavor. Yeah, but it's a dog. So dog. Like this is 2 weeks in a row with these sours. I'm gonna become a sour man if I can find any that have the consistency that the last 2 weeks have had. These are amazing.
In fairness, 450 North is like the Shohei Ohtani of sour beer producers. Like, they are the top dog, the greatest sour beer makers in the country. They're just like, they're close too. I think they're just over in Indiana.
Yeah, well, they dogged out on this one because this is incredible. And actually, Columbus, Indiana. Yes, you are correct.
Okay, yeah, they're the
Nice
ones
place.
that have the Corn
Nice
Maze
place.
beer festival. So they have a beer festival where they put the beers in the middle of a corn maze. So you have to make your way through a corn maze to get to the beer, and it's amazing.
Or
it's all those.
even better, you drink the beer in the corn maze and you gotta find your ass out.
That's the second half of it. The first, you have to find your way to the beer first of all. You're like, all right, we're here, and then you're partying in the middle of a corn maze, and then you have to figure out how to get out after you've had 450 slushes.
I would 100% just Andy Dwyer it and just walk through the corn. Just say fuck
Really-
it, just
really-
through.
Really
Yeah.
quickly
You walk through the
because
corn backward with your pants down.
I mean, if it feels good, why not?
I got cobbed.
Problem?
Sarah asked, "Does it taste like Smurf?" And the real mind fuck of the whole thing is, it pours and looks exactly. I don't know if you can see where it's kind of red there. It pours and looks exactly like my beer did last week with the raspberry cheesecake. So, despite being called Blue Moon Scoop and having all of these blue flavors and ingredients, it is red.
Weird. That's pretty weird.
It's a mind fuck, but it's delicious.
All right. Well, there you go. One dog. Mookie, what are you drinking tonight, dog or not?
Oh, it's for sure, dog. First of all, I feel like it was named for our show, but only if we were on the road with Joe, because it's called Van Full of Weirdos by Refined Fool Brewing Company out of Sarnia, Ontario. So this is another one of those north of the border IPAs, and it's absolutely delicious. Started out a little funky, but I think it just had to get settled, and it's a beautiful IPA. But it's also one that could, play well in fall as well as in summer. So absolute dog. I wish I had more than the one, but hey, you got to enjoy the imported stuff while you can. And we're coming up on pick 30. Is it still too early for P. Mahomes? I just don't know.
Yes. Robert Taylor said he got Patrick in the 4th round in his draft.
That'd be pick 43. So what we Drake London, Sam Laporta, DB
Drake London.
Matt Breida. Matt
London.
Breida. Matt
London.
Breida.
Matt Breida.
Matt Breida.
Joe, you got anything you're drinking over there?
Hell yeah. I'm drinking fruit punch Gatorade, baby.
But is it a dog?
Great. Hold on. Comment section, get him. Because he.
I was gonna say he
I'm
named the flavor.
specifically
cop.
said it by name.
You
for
cop.
those comments.
I was gonna say
The
he's a
cop.
cop.
You cop.
Wow, that was vulgar. The fact that it was red just adds to it. Just looks like bloody. No, we're good.
Dynamite drop it, mommy.
Finish it, Mookie. Finish your thought.
Discharge.
Moving on.
I feel like I got it in there though. We got Drake London, Scott. That's
You
what I'm
got it
talking
in,
about,
right?
baby.
There you go.
Specifically
All right.
related. All right. So Dan said, if you've ever had M43, you know it's amazing. Currently have raspberry creamsicle M43, and it's delicious. Michigan kids back to school today have to go get this.
Damn, that's
Here's
late,
Dan.
man.
Dude, that's throwback. When we were kids.
Yeah, after Labor Day, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't start back till after Labor Day. Yeah.
True,
Hey, old man section of the show. I miss those days of not going back until Labor Day. Although not for my kids. These motherfuckers shouldn't be out of school.
Year round, baby.
I want that California system to get 2 weeks to transition. They're right back in.
What kind of transition?
Whatever you want. You get 2 weeks to do it.
Moving on.
Oh, the landmines just everywhere you look.
That's 2 moving on.
Gabe, Gabe's drinking a drippy IPA from Sycamore Brewing, 7% ABV. He says it's a dog. Robert Taylor said it's a breaking story here. I quit drinking. Good for you, man. Hopefully that gives you everything that you need. So we answered Sarah's question about if it tastes like a Smurf. Rex said Lost State of Franklin maple whiskey, always a dog. Love me some maple whiskey, man.
Yeah, maple whiskey.
Also, and there it is. Joe, Sarah said he named the flavor. Are you a
Oh, there goes my.
And Rex saying he's doing a specials case with the fire department. Of course, he's a co-op. Biscuit saying I've never wanted to be a Gatorade bottle so much in my life. There you go, Joe. Once you get off the road, Biscuits.
Interesting choice there.
I have 2 more of these New Belgiums left. So starting off, I was going to mix them, and then I realized that these should not be mixed. So I have the Summer Lime Lager that's left over, and then I've got one more Juice Force. So I'm going to finish out the night with the Juice Force IPA because it's my favorite one in this pack. Both of those absolute dogs. I love them so much. All right, Robert's saying it's a temporary thing. Good for you, man. Get that person. Sometimes you got to just clear that out. Let us know in the comments what you guys are drinking, whether or not it is a dog. Let's start this show with some football. Scott, I'm going to go to you. You decide which path we start on here talking football. Do we go Miami Cruton on the sidelines after the big win? Go Stephen F. Austin? Or do we go the dog shit bet?
I'm going to go Stephen F. Austin.
Okay, all right. Threw me a curveball. I wasn't expecting that. Stephen F. Austin is not known to be a football powerhouse, right? They're just a team that you see their name every once in a while, and you think it says Stone Cold Steve Austin for a little bit. Like, that's pretty much all I associate.
I was just going to say, I'm like, whenever I see it, I think, give me a hell yeah.
Well, they were playing North American, which also doesn't sound like a team. That sounds like it was just like
It's a
Bishop
place.
Sycamore.
One of
type
those are that's a fake team in NCAA. That's
Exactly.
one of the ones, the non-licensed team.
Pandas. We're playing the North American Pandas. Well, Stephen F. Austin beat the shit out of North America. Like, just kicked the shit out of them. At halftime, it was 70-0. That's a bad beatdown. Here's how bad that was. At halftime, both coaches got together and were like, this is pretty rough, right? Like, you want to speed this up? And they're like, yeah, cool. We'll speed this up. They played 5-minute quarters for the second half.
That's insane, man. That's just
Joe,
crazy.
Correct response.
Oh,
10-minute second half in the Stephen F. Austin North American game because of the beatdown that Stephen F. Austin was putting on them. Unfortunately, they only managed one other touchdown to make the final 77-0. But Scott, how bad of a spot do you have to be in to just roll the clocks, like, as a college coach?
I mean, pretty bad because just speaking on NCAA and in video game terms, you can't even change the time at halftime in the video game. So they were doing something that you can't even do in the fake game to speed it up. Like, that's
Can sim it.
special. Yeah, I guess you could sim to end. So that'd have been funny if they were like, can we just like sim the results? And they're like, you only scored one more touchdown. Like, now we call bullshit on that. We want to play out the second half. We feel like we will score more. But yikes, man. That's embarrassing.
Joe, your head dropped immediately into your hands. What are your thoughts on this, man?
At the college level, that's embarrassing. It's just like in high school, they at least have the running clock in the second half. Like, if it's like 35 or more in the second half, the clock runs. Do that, you know?
Right.
But like 5-minute quarters, like, why don't y'all just be like, look, we're gonna hit the bus. We're hit the bus. You guys don't even have to pay us for this. I actually just quit my job as the coach here. My wife is driving me home right now to wherever North American is.
North American. Yeah, I'm looking up right now to try to figure out where this
I got a feeling it's Canadian. It's got.
I was going to say, I wonder if they're from Canada, because this reminds me of in high school growing up in Ann Arbor, we used to bus in Canadian teams to play them for homecoming because it was a guaranteed win. Like tried and true season, like this is a good way to set your schedule up. But at a certain point, like, why'd you wait to halftime to make the change? Like, how many did they put up in the first quarter, and did they really think it was going to become more even after that?
Guys, okay, so this was a absolute beat. First of all, North American is in Stafford, Texas. So they're a Texas school, but they're NAIA.
Wait a minute. Texas football.
Football.
Yeah. I'm with Joe on this one already.
I don't care that it's Texas college. That is still Texas football, and even the leftovers should have been better than 77-0 and 70-0 at half.
The runoff
What's going on right now.
The runoff at any Texas program you would think would at least hang with them.
But Stephen F. Austin is also a Texas school, so that negates. It's like it's multiplying negative numbers. So like,
I guess.
Did you use PEMDAS for that?
I did, yeah. Okay. I did. So it wasn't just 70-0 at halftime, guys. Here were the stats.
This can make it worse.
Stephen F. Austin had outgained North American 565 yards to 33. They had 33 yards.
Hey, that's a couple first downs at least. I was waiting for it to be negative.
They had 342 yards through the air, 223 on the ground.
Wow.
Jesus.
So that means Stephen F. Austin was just throwing the ball all over these guys. And then they were like, you know what? This is bad. We're just going to run it. And they just ran it all over them. And we're like, fuck, should we just shorten the clocks? I don't know what to do anymore, guys. Like, what do we do?
Yikes.
Why is this country so soft? They got to play the game out.
That's the thing.
Like a man.
Like, if you're going to cut it all the way down to 5 minutes, why even play the second half? Like,
well, that's the thing. At first, I thought, and Gabe saying when you play on PlayStation NCAA football, no, it seems like someone was playing Legends on rookie level. That's exactly what it feels like. Which, by the way, sometimes when you're playing All American and you're getting your ass beat every single time you play, sometimes you got to throw it on rookie and put 70 points on somebody. All right, you put it on freshman, you put up 70, and you're like, I got my mojo back, and then you go back to All American and get smoked, throw 4 picks. I hate that game. I hate it so much.
Mike is speaking from experience, y'all. In our NCAA dynasty, he's not doing so hot. The post game texts from Mike are epically great. Like, I feel bad.
You started a dynasty without me? What is this shit?
Do you have a PlayStation?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was cross-platform.
Oh, I don't know about that. I have
not in Dynasty mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say not the Dynasty.
Yeah, I think Dynasty. You
damn it!
We could play each other cross-platform, but no, I hate the game so much because I will. First of all, I'm mixing up controller. I feel like such an old man. I'm pressing X when I should be pressing square. I'm like, square's wide open, and then I hit it. I'm like, why are you going? Fuck! I hit X. Then like linebackers pop up out of nowhere. My quarterback. Here's my. What week are we in this season, Scott?
It's 11. I just finished up my conference schedule, so I think it pushed me to 11-0.
My quarterback has 9 touchdown passes and 27 interceptions. And there were several games that I was like, this quarterback just sucks. I'm subbing in the second teamer and put him in and still threw like 4 interceptions in the game. I'm terrible. We gotta have like a freshman dynasty, like just something to.
Mike landed on those 0-star
correct.
recruits.
Given the post-game speech, well, fellas, that was a game. That's.
Speaking of, do you think North American, like, do they watch the tape? They trying to get better from the tape?
No, you don't even watch that film. You just move on.
Like, is there anything you can learn from that?
Saturday, you tell the team, like, well, we're going to forget about that one. New season. Season starts today. Let's try to only lose 50-0 this week, guys. 50-0.
Well, you know what? Joe brings up a
50 yards of offense this week, guys. All right, here we go. 50 yards of offense.
I kind of want to follow them now, though. I want to see where they end after this because you got to figure they're going back to play NAIA schools at some point. So, I'm curious, does this help or hurt the morale as they build into that NAIA conference schedule against the mighty what?
Your coach literally just said, we're playing 5-minute quarters. That can't be good for your morale. That's really bad. The only time I've seen something like this happen is when there's like numerous injuries and a team is like so depleted that it's not safe to continue in the second half.
I mean,
that makes sense.
You can tell yourself
thank you.
whatever story you want to tell yourself, though. This is a preseason scrimmage. Like, you can look, it doesn't really matter until you get to the Cascade Collegiate Conference's regular season play. That's what it's all about, Michael. Okay. It's all about the Chicagoland Athletic Conference regular season bid to the bowl games.
I mean, this type of game builds character.
Bowl games.
They could run the table from here.
That's right.
If you're the coach, what do you say when you walk in that locker room? Like, what legitimately?
Nobody in the Great Plains Athletic Conference is going to care what happened here today, boys. They're going to come out and give us 110% next week, no matter what happened on this field here today. So let's focus on that going forward. We still have the entire Sooner Athletic Conference championship to play for, y'all. Let's
I love
go.
you just looking up NAIA conferences as
I know. The names are great, man. Like, these are pretty solid.
Gabe said you might as well play FSU, which done. Well
Yeah.
done.
I mean, I
they
focus.
suck.
If I'm head coach, I focus on the positive. Look, guys, we only gave up 1 touchdown in the second half against like their 5th stringers. You got to start somewhere. Like, we gave up 70 in the first half. We gave up 10 times less than that in the second half. Imagine that. How many teams can say they gave 10 times less points in the second half? Like, it's not very often like that a team can do that, right? So that's how you spin it.
I feel like Stephen F. Austin should have just stopped calling plays from the playbook and been like, you know what, just call it in the huddle.
Run left.
Like, the quarterback is just like drawing it up with the stick in the huddle.
You remember the play calling thing that we kind of we fudged at the bottom? They should have done that. They should have been like, "Hey, we're going to use that platform where like the fans like vote on the play."
Oh yeah.
Like, it's just like, I guess we're running to the right, guys. Hold on a second. The votes are tabulated. Yep. Run right. Ah, shit. 40-yard gain. That wasn't supposed to work that well. Well, we're gonna pass short on this one. 40-yard gain. Guys, help us out here. We're having the fans pick our plays, and we're still beating your ass. We don't know what to do.
That's very impressive, because you would hope that the other team would have at least put, their own fans voting on it. Be like, hey guys, next we're gonna vote for run right. Let's go.
I mean, I feel like they could call out the plays, and it probably.
I mean, at the line of scrimmage, they're just opening the playbook, like when you play cards and put them all on the table and you're learning. You just say, "This is an open hand."
Like, the offensive line comes to the line and says, "Run!" and the defense is looking like, "What? Fuck."
It seems like the video of Bo Jackson from Tecmo Bowl, where like the guy controls Bo Jackson for the entire quarter, just runs backwards and then runs all the way to the goal line, then runs all the way back to the goal line. That's basically what Stephen F. Austin was doing. They could have, if they wanted to, driven down the field, then gone all the way back to their 1-yard line, started the drive over at 2nd and goal from their own 1, won the game pretty handily.
Just for funsies, they should.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have. That would have been interesting. Like, I'd have been like, imagine getting that update on your
That's
phone.
even
Like, there's a
more
team currently
demoralizing than what they
trying.
did.
Yeah, it's true. There's no way around this. Like, North American just got embarrassed.
You can't put enough lipstick on this pig. Like,
Could you imagine that head coach sitting in some kid's living room too? Like,
trying to
I want you
recruit
to,
him.
I want you to come play for us. I don't think we're gonna have to ask for 5-minute quarters in the second half of any games this year, but I can't guarantee that. But still, if you want to be a man, you want to grow as a person, come play for North America.
Son, you are the missing piece. If you were out there, we would have been able to play all 15 minutes of those quarters in the second half. Like, you were the reason. If you come here, we'd be able to keep it an entire length of the game. So what do you say? You want to sign on that line? Time to sell the house.
The more I think about this, like, this is god awful, because you got to think that this was so bad.
The more you think about it, it's
There's so many layers to it. They were willing to give up all those concession sales, I'm sure they lost out on all
I'm sure
kinds
they're
of
just
TV
making dozens
advertising.
of dollars in concessions.
thousands of dollars, hundreds.
You know, the
even.
fans who were like eager
Dozens
to
of
put
dollars.
money into watching their team get their asses handed to them, just eating their feelings. Like, oh god, another cotton
Wait a
candy.
second. Does Mookie think North American hosted Stephen F. Austin?
Oh,
No.
this is Stephen F. Austin's money that they were willing to, bypass to save this school some embarrassment. I mean,
If you're scoring 70 points in the first half, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dead time where people are buying concessions, and it makes up for the 20
you
minutes.
really think it
if
makes
you
up
don't
for the
play
whole, is it 20 minutes a game clock? I mean, that's like an hour worth of real time. That's a lot of pretzels and cheese, man.
Yep, you're
Yeah,
right.
It literally dozens of dollars of pretzels and cheese down
Dozens of hundreds.
Stephen F. Austin, I just looked. They have a graduation rate of 53% and acceptance rate of 90%. Not going to Stephen F. Austin for the academics, ladies and gentlemen. We're going there to beat the shit out of North American 77-0 in a shortened game. We mentioned what the coach would say in that situation, and Ed chiming in with the "How about Brian Kelly?" Fellas, how about Brian Kelly?
What a bitch.
That's
he's like, you know what? I've already killed one. Let's see if we can up the record. Just drive the bus off a cliff after that game.
Sorry, I was trying to go to your face there, Mookie. I tried to switch quickly to your reaction to that.
He went there. I mean, it's Joe though. I guess I should have, been
It's
bracing
Brian
for
Kelly.
it.
He's already 1 for 1 in killing kids, so it really probably wouldn't bother him that much to kill.
Now, see, no, you know what, Joe? I'm going to take exception with that. I'm going to take a lot of exception with that because you assume that he's 1 for 1 and he hasn't tried things before, and that was the first time.
That's a good point.
That man is evil.
For a second there, you had me in the first half there, Mookie. I thought you were about to defend Brian Kelly, and I was like, you don't have to anymore. Like, he's not the Notre Dame coach. You don't have to defend that prick.
So
he's not family anymore.
Well, what's even better about him being family is that I noticed he had no wedding ring on during his little tirade at the media desk there. So that's just
whoa,
yeah.
Whoa! You throwing some conspiracy theories out here, Mookie?
And he had it on pregame, and then he didn't have it on during media availability.
So you think Brian Kelly's wife saw him blow another big game and then divorced him in the room in between when the game ended?
Well, no, she probably didn't divorce him because she's not that dumb. She's like, I at least have another 5 years, one more coaching contract I can squeeze out of this fat man. But I think what she did is she told him to take the ring off because she will not be associated with such a loser.
Scott, you're a known Brian Kelly hater. When you saw him, when you saw the clips, because I know you didn't watch the game, but for those of you that missed it, USC beat LSU, and then there's videos of the USC players like doing the LSU celebration and like dancing on their graves in the locker room. And Brian Kelly gave a post-game press conference where he wanted so badly to throw the kids under the bus, but held back and pivoted at the last second, where he's like, I can't believe we're out here doing this same thing again, and slammed his hand on the table and the water bottle flew up in the air. And he was like, we keep finding ways to make mistakes. I need to coach better. I need to be a better coach. Like, it was close. He was ready to go head on. But you, as a known Brian Kelly hater, how did that make you feel, Scott?
It made me feel great because not only did I get to see him throw his little tantrum, I also got to be reminded about the videos from when he signed on at LSU and was behind the players and the cameras rotating and him doing all the goofy shit and just trying to be cool as fuck. And I was like, Brian Kelly is a piece of shit, but also, did he try? Is he on Wegovy or something? Like, my man looks like he lost a little weight in the face. Like, he lost the game and he lost some weight, and it's not all bad, Brian.
He's still fat where it counts, and that's his heart.
Right. And so
he's just a fat turd.
I loved, like you said, that him being just on the cusp of throwing all of those kids under the bus instead of onto the high rise in the wind, and just go.
Damn you son of a bitch! I was gonna make that joke. Like, instead of throwing him them under the bus. He's putting them on the scaffolding.
Yeah, he wanted to kill some more kids, and this
How many of you
time,
guys
but
wanna
this
go up
time
there
he
in the
held
wind?
back. So he's learned. He's showing restraint. He tried to blame himself, but I gotta believe that in that locker room there was a lot of finger pointing at everybody but himself.
I mean, that's the Brian Kelly way. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't the case.
Do you think when he was pointing fingers, he first did the eye thing and he was like, and you guys over there, and you guys over there, you're all pieces of shit.
I mean, he's just such an ill fit for that program, and like this, like his reaction and everything, like I bring back Ed. Bring back Ed. Ed would have had us all rolling for a different reason. Man, I go when it blow us that game out. Go bring the chicken to the gas station, whatever.
We can't lose this game lingering around. You know, we're gonna just go to the gas station. That pregnant lady, we're gonna be fighting over her.
Ed
later.
Orgeron would have won that game.
And only needed
Yeah, he
5
would've.
minute quarters.
He
in
would
the
have, and
second
he'd have
half.
been shirtless at that press conference, and we've all been better off for it. Brian Kelly doesn't even know how to lose right.
All right, now I'm on board. Now I want Brian Kelly to show up shirtless and mad in a press conference, just shirt off, rage induced, ripped his shirt off in the locker room, and now he's coming out to the press conference with just no shirt on, slamming that. Now I'm back on board. I'm a Brian Kelly fan if he does that.
Like, has anybody failed upwards better than Brian Kelly? Like in coaching the past, decade. I think he's
Lincoln
done a
Riley?
pretty solid job.
Lincoln Riley,
I mean-
third vote.
Yeah, but Lincoln still
on the other side of the-
won some big games along the way.
Did he though? What did he win as head coach? Remind me, please.
Lincoln at least turned some guys into Heisman's. Like
Right.
Great
Heisman
as like a
Trophy winners.
coordinator and a coach, but like Heisman's aren't national championships, bro. That's an individual award, not for the team. The coach is about the W's and L's on the field. Heisman Trophy, that's all on the athlete, man.
Joe, any coaches come to mind failing upward better than Brian Kelly?
No, man, he is setting a high bar that I don't know if anybody else can match. He's like, I mean, and I was thinking this earlier. I was like, what has he really done?
Nothing.
What has this man done? And he's just like, next he's going to be at like USC or he's just going to keep. He's like, yeah, fuck, killing kids on the West Coast now. Like work through the Midwest. Now he's gone down south. He's like, I might as well go out west.
I don't know. I think this is Brian Kelly's last stand. When this job is done, he's done, because there is now the trend in college football to get the younger, like more vibrant coach, and not the old CEO type that like is, the Nick Sabans, the Brian Kellys. Those are a bygone era. Now it's all about the young.
We need more
fresh-
PJ Flex.
Yeah.
Row the boat. Row the boat.
What a
Like-
chump. He should have cashed out when he had the chance.
I actually like PJ Fleck. I think
Everyone liked him for that hot second until they realized he didn't really actually know how to coach in the moment. So,
Wow.
yeah. But he's where he belongs. He's in the right fit for him, Forgotten up there in the Soda or the Wisconsin area.
All right, there you go, Mook. Thanks for that punctuation on that.
Just making a point, man.
Why?
Also, Charlie Weiss won some Super Bowls though. Like, it's hard to take that away from someone. I don't think that he failed. Granted, he had what's his name, TB12, but it's still like,
Well, that
failed
is
enough.
him going to Kansas. Like, he ended up Kansas. Like, he didn't leave
Right.
Notre Dame and then go somewhere better.
Yeah. Whoa.
I got you to say yeah first, though. I
Hold on,
slid
hold
it
on,
in.
hold on,
You're
hold
like, yeah, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah. It registered after I started talking. Like the words were coming out, and then it all went into my brain, and I went, "Wait, this motherfucker." No, but Charlie Weiss also went from the pros to Notre Dame, so it wasn't like he failed out of Notre Dame and then made his way to the pros.
Right.
He took a step out of the pros to take over Notre Dame, and man, I missed that football on the sidelines. That man, he. Do you realize how crazy it is that if the Bush push didn't happen, Charlie Weiss might still be the coach at Notre Dame? Like, that's a real possibility. If that doesn't happen and Notre Dame likely wins out the rest of the year, potentially wins the national championship, Charlie Weiss is still the coach at Notre Dame. That's
banana land to think.
but that's true, right? Like, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, no. As you talk through it, it's like you're probably right, but jeez, that seems like 2 lifetimes ago, and to think that he'd still be
It
there.
was like 20 years ago, so he probably wouldn't still be there.
I don't know.
Man, that's
Did it just hit you how long ago that was, Mookie?
yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
20 years ago was the Bush push. So there you go. Rich Rod, great nomination, Gabe. Rich Rod is a good
Oh yeah, that motherfucker did keep failing up. Yeah.
Rex wants to know, Sip Chug Drainpour, the next athlete to coach.
Oh God.
Terrell Owens, Chad Ocho Cinco, or Randy Moss. So let's assume all 3 of these are getting a coaching job, maybe on Dion's staff, because Dion is now just hiring his buddies to come coach with him. He's got like Ed Reed over there. He's got Warren Sapp. Like, he's just hiring friends from the NFL. So let's say one of these guys is getting hired on to a staff somewhere. Sip Chug Drainpour, who you want. Joe, you're our guest. You're on the road. Who do you want? We'll start with you.
I'm Drainpour and Ocho Cinco. Man.
Rude.
I'm gonna sip Terrell. I'm gonna chug Randy. Chug him.
I don't get it.
That's
also solid reasoning provided there, Joe.
Oh, you didn't want reason. I mean, I don't like Ocho Cinco. Like, he's too much of a. He'd be like Dion 2.0. Like, I think he's too much of a character to be a great coach. I think of the 3, I would rather have Terrell Owens to be the coach. I mean, I could go either way really with Terrell or Randy Moss, but I really feel like Ocho Cinco is the odd man out. I don't know. He's just like too over the top.
Rude, very rude.
I see. I would actually sip Randy because I think he's been around the game in different capacities where I think he could actually be a good coach. I mean, all his time on the desk and I think he could actually do it. I think he'd have a short fuse and he's like, y'all fuckers ain't good enough for this. I'm out, get me others. But I think Randy'd be a good coach. I think I would chug Chad because I think his heart would be in it. He would suck, but like he would accidentally teach someone a thing or two every once in a while. And then Tio would just be a diva crybaby. Like, I mean, that dude quit the challenge. Like, you think he can do anything on my sideline? Like, get the hell out of here. Poor drain him all day.
Scott, I was gonna scoop you on this one and go next, but I'll let you go. Who do you got on this one?
I am poor draining Mr. McDonald's frequently throughout his career. No thanks. I actually do agree that Randy Moss would probably be the most legit head coach of these 3, but I am chugging Randy and I am sipping on my man T.O. He will forever be my guy after standing on that Dallas Star. So
damn,
it don't fucking matter. And absolutely, you think Brian almost threw his kids under the bus? T.O. would throw them motherfuckers under the bus with no abandon. Like, he'd come in and be like, I just want to let y'all know it was all their goddamn fault. I did everything I could this week, and they sucked a fat dick. All right, questions. Like, well, that's about it, T.O.
That clears it up, coach.
Right.
Well, that's my time.
It's like
it would literally be like the Roy Kent press conference.
there's no doubt in my mind that T.O. and then the wins, it'd be like, yeah, did you see how well coached those motherfuckers were? They looked amazing. I spent all week getting those motherfuckers ready.
You know, and they did too. And Scott, you're right. There's the natural parts baked into it too, because T.O. would absolutely be all over the clock management, right?
Missing the reference that you're trying to make there. So sure.
Well, because he's T.O., like, so he'd know when to take his timeouts and when to hold them.
Womp womp. Boo this man.
I thought
thought there was something I was missing. I'm like, did Tio fuck up or something?
Mookie just went straight dad
nothing.
joke.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you went to the name, the initial. Wow.
I mean, hey, you missed it.
Can we play the Price
You
is Right losing
absolutely-
horn?
Scott leaning back in his
this,
chair
man.
like that. I'm like, that's a win. I'm gonna count that one. Oh, I'm on the clock here with pick 102. What are we thinking, guys? Deontay Johnson sound like a good get some
Trent
depth in the wide
Williams.
receiver position, right?
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. I don't see him on the board, Joe. I think someone snatched him.
No, he's a tackle. Unless you're drafting offensive lineman, you're not going to find Trent Williams.
Really drop. Yeah, why not? Deontay Johnson. Why not? Great pick. Or we
I'm
could go
so
Delta's
mad at
defense.
you, Mookie. For
This
grinding
dude
it
really
to
went
a
with
halt.
the T.O. on calling timeout.
Oh, come on,
You know
man.
we'll have good clock management, right? Right?
I mean,
He really made me think. I was like, what am I missing here? Did he
I
fuck
was
up
thinking- I
something
was
in his
doing the
career? Like,
I
what
was
the
like-
hell?
I was. When did Tio? Did he call an extra timeout? Did he knock you out of bounds?
I got you both on it.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you got
I mean,
me,
hey.
but it was for a horrible, horrible reason.
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it happens. And just by the means, Scott. Standing by it.
I love the idea
Mike,
of him going
what do you
into
think?
an interview and telling an owner, "Look, I don't really know shit about this, but it's in the name. I'll know exactly when to use all the timeouts." And the owner being like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" You know, T.O.
What headhunting firm did we hire that brought in this candidate? They're fired.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go ahead and sip on Randy just because I think he's got the funniest voice out of the three, and I would love to hear his pregame and halftime.
Oh my god, it would be great.
Just with that accent. I am going to Chug Chad
Of course you are.
because it's Chad, and I'm gonna Drainpour T.O. Because I don't want to see a coach up there defending his quarterback, crying, saying that's my quarterback in a press conference after the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and
Well, what if instead he
That's what you
said,
want. Is you
"I'm a
want that
man."
guy to stand up for his quarterback. That's exactly why he should be the
Not-
one. That's why
not
you
in
sip it.
tears behind
That's why you
sunglasses,
sip it.
going, "That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback, man. That's my quarterback." Joe, how's everything going on the walk, man? Where are you at?
I am currently in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania.
How far to Harrisburg?
44 miles.
Sweet. So we're closing in on another state capital.
Yep, and I have a potential meeting with Representative Napoleon. Oh God, I lost his last name.
Dynamite?
Who
No.
cares? His first name's Napoleon. You don't
Bonaparte.
know his name. You just
He
say
has-
Napoleon, and they all
he has
know who you're there
introduced-
for.
All right, I'm not a Napoleon.
Oh, Scott, ice cream. You had it. It was right there.
That's Neapolitan,
It's not
stupid.
Napoleon, but that joke is so funny. It just-
I was going to, and then I was like, no, because I don't want to mookie this. If I say Napoleon ice cream, they're gonna be like, you idiot, it's Neapolitan.
Oh, that would have been so good because nobody calls it Neapolitan. Everybody calls it Napoleon. So you can.
I've never in my
That
life
one.
called it Napoleon ice cream.
Yes, you have.
No.
So do we-
You know
do
why?
we-
'Cause I can read. I can read the English language.
Now that Sarah types it out, it does look dramatically different than the way the word's actually written. It's a tough one, guys.
Can we do some research though? Like, can somebody? I've always
Googles.
wondered how the fuck did they come up with Neapolitan? Like, what's the reasoning behind the
That
name
sounds like something for
on
that's
those
something for
flavors?
Mookie to
It's
do for the rest of
because
the
it
show.
comes from Naples, Italy.
That sounds fake.
I was gonna say
what
that
Google
sounds
said,
like
man.
bullshit.
Oh, you're trusting Google AI? That's what you're doing? You're just
No, this is
AI
just regular
like,
old Google.
this
I'll ask
seems
Google's
right.
AI.
Boomer.
We can do that too.
Joe, so you got 44 miles to Harrisburg.
Yeah,
You're meeting with the ice cream guy.
I'm meeting with him. Hopefully tomorrow. We're waiting to hear back. Especially with the walk being so fluid. You know, he was willing to meet me in Harrisburg on Tuesday, which would have required like a fairly long stay that we can't afford. And but he's like, man, you're walking, I'm driving. Like, I'll find a way to meet with you. He last, I think it was like November or it might have been February. put a bill in, House Bill 1519, which aims to allow students to have 3 mental health days per year. So,
Oh wow.
you know, that was the main draw for trying to reach out to him. So just waiting on him to get back with us. Hopefully sometime tomorrow I can meet up with him. If not, we'll figure it out. But I don't know. I can't remember where I was the last time I talked to you guys.
I think you were still in Kentucky.
That's what I thought. So yeah, we've covered a lot of ground. Dad passed away July 9th. Luckily I was close enough to get home. I was still in Charleston with my broken cart. And but yeah, I got back on the road. The rest of West Virginia, despite being hilly, was pretty good. Did have one of my famous roadside explosive diarrheas.
There's the update everybody loves to hear.
I ate. So like I'm in this little town called Arnoldsburg, and like breakfast. I didn't have a huge walk that day, but I was like, man, I'm starving. And I opened up my cart and I grabbed my bagels out. I eat a bagel, and as I'm eating the bagel, it tasted different, but I was like, nah, I'm fat. Eat the bagel. So like 2 hours later,
I love the reasoning.
2 hours later, like after I had climbed like 250, 300 feet in like a half a mile to get
Jesus
up to the top
Christ.
of this hill, I pulled my chair out. I'm like, man, I'm taking a break. Like this hill killed me. And West Virginia had no shoulders either, so that was sketchier.
That's terrifying.
But I'm sitting there, like I get up, I'm getting ready to go, and all of a sudden it was just like, I'm like, oh God. So like I'm standing there and there's no houses at the top of this, top of this hill. And I'm looking around and I wait a few minutes and I'm like, the gas station I was going to stop at was still 3 miles away. It was just not happening. So like I look and I start listening from when I can hear a car to when I see a car. And like I wait, I was like, I
He's gauging the distance.
I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I literally just jumped off the side of Calhoun Highway and was like one shot, just like Jackson Pollock everywhere. And then immediately like pull my drawers up just in case somebody drives by. So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, cool. Now we start grabbing all the TP. We start doing all my cleanup. So and at this point, like this was like I've never, except for Illinois on the first walk when we talked about that experience, that was the only other time I felt worse after having this happen to me. And like I'm just like barely moving up the road. I don't even go 500 feet, and a highway patrolman pulls up in front of me. And I was like, oh God, did someone see something? And he was like, he gets out of the car and he was like, did you call 911? And I was like, no, I've just been listening to music. And he's like, did you see a kid? No. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm walking across the country for mental health. He's like, oh, yeah, this guy's all good. He's walking across the country and then just drives off. I found out later that there was apparently like a kid on the autism spectrum that like had apparently had a steak from his yard, like a yard steak, and somebody thought he had a knife, and they had called.
Oh shit!
Apparently, it was somebody that the police are frequently visiting, but they just wanted to locate him and make sure he was safe. But I was 100% certain I was about to get a citation for crapping on the side of the road. It was
Oh man!
But got out of West Virginia. For those of you that don't follow the walk, though, the Blocko pendant does have part of my dad's ashes in it, so Dad's with me for the rest of the walk and life. It sucks though, because I keep having these like random things that like remind me of him. Like earlier today, I was like 4 miles from town, and a song came on, and I was like, luckily I had my sunglasses on because I just started crying. I got through West Virginia, up and down. I got to Morgantown, which is where I met Derek with Morgantown Fire. Yeah, it was actually it wasn't even a kid. It was Derek. He's into fecal play.
Yikes!
But no, Derek. I got to Morgantown, and those guys let me throw my tent up out there. They let me eat dinner and everything. They invited me back when his shift was back on call on Saturday to have apparently firefighter breakfast on Saturdays is like the shit. And man, they did it up, like blueberry pancakes, eggs, it was a whole spread. And I was just like gorging myself. That was also the time that I was having like real bad back issues. I was honestly, I was hurting so bad that I thought the screw that's in my SI joint was like failing. Like I hurt so bad I could barely walk. So I spent about 4 or 5 days in Morgantown trying to rest it, and then I headed into PA. And Pennsylvania's been really good. The people, there was a stretch where I kind of reconnected with people that I met from the first walk. West Brownsville firefighters were awesome. After I went to bed, they had like a social club with their fire department, and they like did their own personal fundraiser and donated, I'll just say, a considerable amount of cash. Walked up, basically the same part of the same route that I walked the first time, and there was a mountain around Uniontown, Pennsylvania, that when you go east to west is a 600-foot climb and then like a 1,500-foot descent. When you're going west to east, that's backwards. So I had like a 12 to 1,500-foot climb, and it was only like 2.5 miles to the top. So it was. And I'm pushing up there, and we found a comment later on one of the posts on Facebook where somebody was like, somebody had called 911 for a guy in an orange shirt walking up the mountain that appeared to be in distress. And then, but this is the part that killed me. One of the local stations was like, no, he's okay. He's walking across the country. And like later on, like a couple of days later, I got to thinking, I'm like, what if I was actually in distress? Like, I'd be dead on the side of this mountain if you guys called him off. But I
check, this guy's good. He's walking across the country.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He'll be all right. But there was another gentleman that like we crossed paths on the first walk, and it was just a head nod. But he found me as I walked into Uniontown the day before, and I messaged him. He came and picked up the cart. Took it the rest of the way up the mountain, and then I could finish the walk. And it still sucked even without the cart. Like it was like probably 45 degrees the entire time, like angle.
Yeah,
it sucked.
Joe, I feel like when you say the words, I have to walk up a mountain, inherently, that's gonna suck. Like that's gonna be really terrible, man.
Like even though these are just like the Appalachians or just the Allegheny Mountains, like. That's one thing I've noticed, and thankfully for the most part, I think in Pennsylvania I'm done with it. I'm probably hit a few more as I go up towards New York, but like the hills in West Virginia kind of rolled. These were all like very high grades both directions, and 2 days ago coming down the last like real big mountain, I had like a 3.5-4 mile walk down holding the cart the whole way. So like my knees started swelling up because like I was doing something that my body hasn't had to do this entire walk. So it was rough. But on the whole, man, Pennsylvania's been great. There are 2 people that are from Berlin, Pennsylvania.
Wait, what? From where?
Yeah, Berlin, Pennsylvania.
Berlin?
Christy and Darren, they both lost their children to suicide. And way to go, Mookie.
I was gonna say, make more jokes, you asswipe.
I wasn't making jokes. I was just gonna ask if there's any connection.
Feels like a gray hair.
Christy lost her son, and Darren actually lost his son and daughter both.
Jesus.
And he even told me, we talked about it. He tried himself after losing both of his kids. And the road that he went to, he said nobody ever drives on this road. But he's like, after I drove my car into this tree. Like a few hours later, somebody came by and found him. But where I'm at right now, they drove, first off, when I was in leaving Breezewood, Pennsylvania, Sunday morning, because I made sure I had a hotel Saturday night to watch the football game. Christy, her and her husband drove. I had 3 separate climbs that day that were like 500 to 600 feet each over in less than 2 miles. It was just... But I got through the first hill. They came and picked it up and took the cart the rest of the way. And that was like an 1.5-hour drive each way. And I'm miles past that now. And Darren met me out today and like brought me 3 Gatorades. He brought another cash donation. And he is going to he's going to businesses in Berlin, which is I've never even been through the town. They just found me because one of the campgrounds I stayed at told them what I was doing and knew what they had been through, and they wanted to meet up. But now they're like going through, and they're trying to start their own like suicide survivor support group, but they're still taking time away from that to help raise money for us to keep this walk going. And like for shoes, everything. Like he's talking about calling chambers of commerce way ahead of time before I get into town to see if businesses will donate, whether it's donate like meals when I come in or whatever. Like I don't deserve people like that helping me out. I mean, no matter what people say, Sarah's going to say imposter syndrome, like she already told me. I don't deserve people like that. I don't think you'll ever convince me that I do. But I am beyond thankful that they're here and they're helping, because for the 4 of you that actually follow the walk on Facebook, like this morning I put up the, I guess on TikTok they call it the beg talk. Just explaining where we were financially as a nonprofit. We still are kind of on the brink of like, does this thing continue? And when that money runs out, what do? Do I dig into the money I've put aside for my bills to keep it going? Because I legitimately thought we would have like businesses like interested and want to sponsor this. I was really hoping for that, and it hasn't happened yet. So I have been, and it's something that's kind of been beating me up mentally over the last few days. And I put the post up just explaining like, this is where we're at. This is the type of money we need. Whatever anyone can do. I was like, I know that I know the dollar doesn't go where as far as it used to. I'm not stupid. Well, I mean, I am, but like, I understand. But if people could take the flyers that we have, on the Facebook page, like if you know somebody that ran a business, I was like, hey, take it to them. Like if we get businesses that are like, hey, we'll give you 50 cents a mile walked per month, like 6 businesses that do that. And we would probably be, I could probably make it work, but as it stands, we're getting by somehow, great people that are helping me out more than I personally deserve, but they're helping out the nonprofit. So that's the important thing. I'm going to walk until the wheels fall off of me. They've already fallen off the cart multiple times. But I mean, and honest to God, I had a friend, he actually messaged me once. We were talking about something, like I think it was money related too. And he was like, you could always do like a fasting thing, like as an added like thing to draw people in. Like, and I'm like,
safe.
It would most likely, like, this whole thing is unsafe, Mike.
Yeah,
like
that's even worse.
there's no logical reason why a person like me should be doing this, but I think that's also what draws a lot. The people that I meet, the people that talk to me and actually take the time to find out what we're doing, it reaches them, because even if it's not a mental health thing, they're like, look at this dude. Like, and I've actually had people that have been not very kind about how they say it. They're like, well, how does a guy that walks that many miles still end up your size? First off, you're lucky that I don't condone violence. Yeah, I've had
what a dick thing to say.
Now, one was an OWG, which I would have expected.
Sure.
Old like hills of West. Actually, it was the same day right before I crapped all over the side of the highway. So it was like, beautiful day. Thanks, old guy. And then the other was another guy coming out. I was leaving Uniontown, Pennsylvania, before I climbed that mountain. And he saw the cart and he was like, oh, you got some money, man? I'm like, well, I got a little bit of cash. So I gave him like $5. And he was like looking at the banners, and I told him like what the banners on the cart cost. He's like, y'all, you got that kind of money? And I'm like, I did, because I worked and we got donations for the nonprofit. And then he asked about like wanting to walk with me. And I'm like, I mean, if you want, we got a lot of walking, and you better bring a tent, because I don't share, because it's a 1-man tent. But I gave him his $5 and he walked off. But yeah, he was like, man, he's like, how you be walking all them miles and you still be as big as you are? And I'm like, you son of a bitch. And a lot of it is, and it's funny. I'm always going to make fun of myself for being like being the fat dude. A lot of it is left over from the hernia surgery last year that the doctors just kind of stiffed me on, and nobody wanted to explain why I gained like 25 to 35 pounds in a 2-week period, when the math as far as like calories in or whatever just doesn't add up. But it's also like completely changed like my physique. So I don't know that I'll ever like look small ever again. But it is what it is. I keep going. We're gonna.
It's just such a wild thing to say to somebody that you
don't know, right?
Yeah, like, and then somebody that's walking for this really good cause. It's like there's more that goes into it other than just walking and like exercise, like, right? Like, it's not that simple. Look crazy, man.
wild. Which has got to be the craziest part of this walk is just the people that you're encountering. But
Dude,
listen,
99% of them are great people. Like those two, and they even weren't even that bad. It was just like I just brushed them off. Like that's just I try to let everything roll off my shoulder with stuff like that. You know, but like everybody else has been so like welcoming. Like all the fire stations. You know, there's really only been one fire station this entire trip we've reached out to that hasn't been able to do anything for us. Indianapolis. Did I name drop? And
shocking it would be them. You know,
but like
those people are over
everybody
there.
else has been great. Like the chief here has connections in Carlisle, 22-mile walk for tomorrow, which is about the only place to go. So he, you know, they're like doing the pay it forward, like call ahead type thing. Like I said, Darren and Christy just going way above and beyond when they're trying to start their own like nonprofit support group and taking time out of that and essentially taking money away from that to help us out and to keep us going. Like, I don't know, man, for once, like I don't have something snarky to say. I talked about it on the little video that I posted this morning. It's like, you know, whatever your particular belief is, whether it's, you know, God, Krishna, Allah, whatever, or if it's just the universe in general, like every time on both of these walks that like I've hit that point where I don't know what's going to happen next, or like I need help, it's been delivered. So, you know, I stay God because I was raised, believe it or not, I was actually raised in a church. You know, I was raised in the Church of God, so like I have that belief system, and I may not always act like it, but he's had a hand in what I'm doing, you know. And if you believe that it's a different religion, that's fine. You go with whoever that is. But there's been something else at work that's helping to keep this going. And yesterday when I was thinking, like I was coming down one of the hills or whatever, and I was just, you know, I actually said, I was like, God, I was like, give me a sign that I need, like, give me a sign. What am I supposed to do here? And I was laying in the bed in the bunk room at the fire station last night in St. Thomas. And my friend Becky from college, I've known her, God, I went to college 23 years ago, or 21 years ago. But she sent me a message and was like, hey, I want you to add, if you could you add my best friend's brother to the book that you take with you? She just lost him to suicide. And that was my sign. You know, I asked God to give me a sign, like, do I need to continue? And he did. So I'm going to walk until I can't walk anymore physically. And, you know, if I get stuck somewhere, I guess if one way or another, we'll figure it out, but this won't stop.
All right. So if you guys want to help Joe continue this walk and just help him in any way you can, it's clearly meaningful. It's doing good things. Joe is helping people that he encounters along the way, like the stories that he's told before about just these random encounters where just somebody just happens to be there and it's been affected by this. Help him out, whatever you can. Allacrossthecountry.com is where you go. You can donate directly through the website. It's all nonprofit, tax write-off. So Mookie, there's your loophole for this year. Instead of lying about energy efficient appliances that you purchased,
Hey, I didn't lie about it.
Donate to All Across the Country.
Just stretch the truth a little.
Yeah, right. All right. Yeah, I'm glad that new 70-inch HD TV is energy compliant and deserving of a tax
yeah, because
write-off.
it uses a lot less energy than my 50-inch from back in the day, man. Like, come on.
Allacrossthecountry.com is where you go to do that. And if you or anybody that you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 988 is the call. That's nationwide. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Joe, that's the first time we've ever easily transitioned into that, and it wasn't like an awkward like penis joke right into the suicide hotline.
Maybe we're all maturing.
We're growing the hell up.
You know what I am sad about, though, Michael, is we don't have a map yet.
No, there is no map yet because I've been very, very, very busy. I don't even have time to play college football as much as I want. All right, guys.
Look, now that's what he's blaming his back on.
I get like one night a week to play a couple games of college football just to catch up.
A couple games? That's like hours worth of game time. You couldn't take
2 games. I get the game, and then I'm like, hey, fellas, sorry for holding everything up. Week advanced. And then I play the next game, and I'm like, ready to advance, and then I'm gone until the next week. Like,
I appreciate it though, because most people would be like, "Oh, well, I finished my game," and then they're the next ones to still be holding us up. Like it's not like, "Oh, you were on there and you saw it advance, and you didn't just play your next game. You decided, oh, well, I'll just be the same one to advance it."
I treat college football 25 dynasties like a snake draft. I'm ending this week and I'm starting next week. You guys figure it out in between. I got 2 games in this week. That's all I know. I did 2 weeks this week. Fucking whatever. All right, moving on.
You never
Joey,
had that problem with me. I would always advance my week, Scott. I'm just saying.
Then get a PlayStation.
I was gonna
Go,
say, well, I can also count on you to not have a PlayStation. So,
Well, I mean, if we can just figure out a way to write it off, it won't be a problem.
I think I'm pretty sure PlayStations are that is
They're energy efficient.
So.
They're LEED certified or whatever it is.
Way more energy efficient than an Xbox. That's for damn sure.
You shut your pie hole. I will not have you besmirch my console that I cannot use.
Gotta be the worst part. The walk.
Also, if anybody has a Steam Deck they want to donate to me, then yeah, let's do that.
Let's cover
Now,
the
Joe,
walk and let you keep it going before we start looking for Steam Decks, Joe. Okay,
Joe,
like,
you can play Xbox on your phone. Like I've done it
We
before.
tried it. We tried it. It won't work. I had that plan. Like I was going to get the backbone controller and stuff, and it's the Xbox at home is hooked to the Ethernet, and even when I'm on a good Wi-Fi signal, it won't connect. Yeah, trust me. That was when I was at home, like getting ready to wrap everything up after Dad passed. I was like, I can do this, right? And I can't.
Ugh, that breaks my heart.
Well, you were talking about your explosive shits, Joe, and that reminded me of the Florida State fan that has gone super viral this week. So if you don't know this story, there was a Florida State fan who was very confident that Florida State was going to beat Boston College. Sorry, go ahead, Drew. I see you laughing. I see you putting up comments.
Rex saying Joe needs a Steam Deck when he's dropping a deuce on the side of the road.
Look, I'm already done before I could even turn that thing on. Because when you're on the side of the road, you ain't got time to mess around. Because the state highway patrol might pull up on you.
But you're fine. There's nothing to worry about. This guy's good. He's just sitting in the woods. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. And Tyson, my feet hurt all the time.
How's your pinky toe?
Oh, they're good now. It's just all this downhill that I've been doing the last 2 or 3 days. My feet are all screwed up, and got a couple new blisters from them always going downhill and rubbing in a weird way. So we're getting through it. The next day's pretty flat, so that'll be. I was cruising today when it was flat. I felt so good. I was almost jogging. I was like, this is wonderful. Back to the Florida State poop eating guy.
Yes. So a fan of Florida State tweeted this out before the Florida State Boston College game, where he said, quote, if Florida State loses to BC this weekend, I will eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post a video of me doing it. Book it. This was tweeted out on August 27th of 24.
Damn, that's like lunchtime on Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's a weird time to flex.
Yeah, very weird time to feel so good about your Florida State Seminoles that you're willing to tweet out that you would eat dog shit if they lose. And in case you haven't heard, they lost. They got their asses kicked. It was ugly. DJ Ungalegale. He looks like shit. I wonder where he's going to transfer next. Norvell is gone. Florida State is going to back up the trucks to try to get Deion Sanders. But this fan was nowhere to be found. And people were chiming in throughout the night as it got worse and worse, to the point he has deleted all of his social media accounts. He sent one message to somebody and was like, I'm done with X for now, and then logged off and deleted the account. Scott, coward move, because I know you would do this. You would do the exact same thing. You would just delete everything and ghost and not pay up on the bet. But
Whoa!
What? Wait, hold on. So you're telling me if you tweeted out, I will eat dog shit if the 49ers lose the Super Bowl and then they lose the Super Bowl, you're telling me you would not just ghost completely?
I wouldn't be so stupid to make some proclamation like that. First of all, like that's the first mistake. And second of all, you goddamn right, I ghost that shit. It ain't nobody eating like, and I like imagine. I wish could we like. Is there time? Does anybody? It's the internet, right? Like somebody has to know like when was the exact moment that he deleted all of his social media accounts. Like,
The internet will find
like,
this. dude.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I need to know, like, when during the game was he like, fuck, they're gonna call me on this? Like, are we talking like winning moments? Like, or was this like earlier in the game? Like, I want to know that exact moment that his shit was deleted out, because that'll tell you everything you need to know. Like, is he a true coward who, is he one of those Miami Heat fans who were like, oh yeah, like I left and then they came back, but I was there, like yada yada yada? Or is he one of those fans who's like, nah, man, like I stayed till the end and then I deleted it after, So my guess is that he took the full-on cowards route, and it was just like third quarter, he started doing the math and was just like, this shit ain't looking good, I better bail.
I want to know too, does he have a moment where he's like, maybe I can just delete the tweet? Maybe, and then he like finds it and he sees all the reposts. He's like, fuck, I can't even delete it now. Like, that's going to look worse. If I just delete the tweet, it's going to look, you know what? I'm blowing the whole thing up. Fuck it. And just hit
I never existed. I like the idea of just going nuclear, but yo, man, like, don't be so stupid as to tweet something out like this. Like, I don't understand tweeting something like this that's so easily like there's proof everywhere. Like, right?
There's
the minute you hit enter on this tweet, people are like, yo, like, I'm bookmarking this shit. Like, I'm not like, I don't even have a stake in the game and I'm bookmarking this.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody is just at Freezing Cold Takes just so that they've got it on their timeline. Like, so
right.
Dorian, though, is correct. They're about to find his house address. Like, the internet,
oh yeah, he's getting doxxed for sure.
They are pissed about this. They want blood, or in this case, shit. They want their two girls, one cup.
They're going to be dropping red Solo cups full of dog shit on his front porch. Like, here you go, champ.
Dorian also said he should have just paid someone to make cake dog shit and then eat it. Like, you could have easily.
Exactly. There's so many ways out of this.
Many ways to do this.
Also, okay, now let me ask you this question, fellas. Do you get more clout if you just delete the account? Because it made it to SportsCenter. Like, SportsCenter was talking about the fan that bet he would eat dog shit and then killed his internet profile history, like, just gone. So he reached that level of fame. Do you reach that level of fame if you delete the account, or do you reach a higher level of fame if you fake it and you eat like something that looks like dog shit but isn't actually dog shit and you play it up? Like, which level of fame is the better route to go? Like, this is like very
that's an easy answer, because you make no money off the version where you just delete the account and disappear into oblivion. Like,
you think
if you're going to try to capture the clout,
like,
shit
video,
you got to fake it somehow and try to maximize that. Like, there's got to be like a Duncan Hines sponsorship in there for you.
He should have went full on fucking you eat that cat poop. No, I won't eat that cat poop. No, you eat that cat poop, Ron Burgundy. Like, he should have went all the way. Just, fine, I'm eating the cat poop. Does this make you happy? Like, just fucking went all the way in with it. Like, if you're gonna do it, you don't do the crime if you can't do the time. And this is self-inflicted time too. Like, nobody was like, hey man, I know you're a huge Florida State fan, so like, you should bet that, you're gonna eat shit if they, like, nobody forced you to come up with this stupid ass thing. So once you do it, you gotta own up to it somehow, whether you fake it, whether I like somehow, some way, but just completely ghosting it. I mean, I'd rather just leave the account active and just have everybody just tweeting at me and then just tweet out something innocuous afterwards. Like, man, sure is a nice day today. like just ignore the fact that it happened. Just ignore your tweet history afterwards.
God, you reminded me of that. With the you eat the cat poop, I forgot about that scene in Anchorman.
And there's Anchorman
scene in There's a
Anchorman's
scene in
dope.
Step Brothers where Will
Yep.
Ferrell like licks the white dog.
Looks the white dog poop in the park.
Is Will Ferrell telling on himself here? Like, I feel like this is projection at this, but that's two different movies where Will Ferrell is eating.
Well, it'd be different, but USC won, so like he didn't have to put this out there.
Point. That's a very good point. This is my
Or
favorite.
maybe he should have done a spoof video. What if he did a spoof video like Ryan Kelly? We're like blaming the kids, like, God damn it, they kept doing the same things that they did in Ireland. Like, fuck. But you know, I gotta be better. I can't tweet that.
Wrecked with the quote, haha, my friend hacked my account.
Right? Yeah. Just do something like, oh man, I'm in sex rehab. Hit him with the sex rehab. Turns out I'm a sex addict, guys. Like,
How about
what?
you
What
be
is
a
that?
fucking man? Eat the shit. That's
it can't
where
be
you
that
get the
bad,
clout.
right?
Man
Okay.
up, eat the turd, and then reign over the internet forever. I mean, the Hawk Tua girl is making millions for talking about spitting on one. If you eat shit out of a cup with a spoon, you are undefeated for the rest of the internet forever.
All right, so Joe just answered my question because Sarah rightfully pointing out, like, Scott would know better than to make the bet. Like
Hell
that.
yeah.
I would also never make this bet because Gabe would be at the game, so there's no way. Like, I would go the opposite way. I would be like, well, we're losing. Gabe's there, so I'll eat shit if Boston College doesn't upset us. And then she said, now Mookie, on the other hand, you degen,
This is actually
you addict.
100% accurate.
I mean, how many points we getting?
Yeah,
right?
there it is. That's the question I knew was coming. What's the point spread?
What's the big here, man?
Mookie
Like,
would eat the cup of shit while betting a new mythical matchup. He's like, all right, well.
Hey, don't
this is
shit on those
happening.
mythical
You
matchups.
laugh all you
man.
want,
I won
man.
my mythical matchup this week, and I feel
That
pretty
paid.
good.
I was so upset to see you in the chat talking about it. I was like, God damn it, Mike. You're giving legitimacy to this. You
Well, I was sitting there.
motherfucker.
I'm sitting there scrolling on my phone, and I pulled up FanDuel just to check. I think I was checking to see what the line was on the Notre Dame game if it had moved, and I saw the mythical matchup, and I was like, "Oh, Mookie said there's a no sweat bet on this one." I'm
I
like,
mean, right? It's free money.
what the hell? Like, worst case scenario, I got $25 to put on the Bengals this coming week. So I
$25 a Bitcoin, apparently.
yeah. I don't think FanDuel is cashing you out in Bitcoin. Those are the sites that Mookie goes to. Those are the scary ones.
See, but they know I don't need him anymore.
Offshore.
They're upset.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
these are
tough.
these are the ones that Mookie's been betting on since before betting was legal anywhere. But yeah, I saw that mythical matchup, and I was like, fuck it, let's see what happens. And then Notre Dame scored 23, and I was like, oh shit, LSU just has to hold USC to like 30 or less. This is great. And they did. Feel awesome. We covered. Me and Mookie covered the mythical
Yes,
matchup.
sir.
And I get it now, Mookie. I understand.
Right?
But here's the difference between me and you. We can start with the penis, but first of all, the biggest difference is
Wow.
It's very fitting the way you just slipped that right in there too.
That was also that was a very good Eminem reference. Like, I'm not going to let that go unnoticed for those who don't know. Yeah, that was a very deep cut for Eminem lyricist there. Congratulations there, Mike. I caught that one. I like it.
if I had only been able to hold it together and not laugh through it, it would have been so much better. No, the difference is as soon as that bet cashed, I cashed the fuck out. I was like, give me my $47. As soon as that posted, I was like, give me my $47.92. Oh, yeah, let's go. Here we are. Very excited to win that money this weekend. Mookie, I know you're excited.
Well, since I was going to say, since Dorian did ask, like I do think it's only appropriate to update the fans that this last month I did end with a 7.14% return. So laugh all you want, make all the jokes you want,
I
but
didn't ask that.
that's a nice little bump. That's a nice little cushion. Plus all the fun I
What's
get
the
to have
rest of
along
the year
way.
look like, Mookie?
Valid
that?
question, Joe.
What's the rest of your year look like? Because plus 7% now with minus 10% every month before is still a loss.
Let's see here.
Oh, don't actually look. God.
Well, he asked this question.
All right, we're gonna go around the horn, guys.
No, you're gonna feel real dumb.
Let's say you had an Ambien moment and you did tweet out this tweet where you are betting that your team will win or else you'll eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post a video of it. You have that moment, you post that tweet. Scott, are you eating the dog shit if you lose? Yes or no?
No.
Mookie, are you eating the dog shit if you lose?
Probably not.
Joe, are you eating the dog shit?
You really have to ask that question? Been eating dog shit my whole life. Let's go. Nom, 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 nom.
Joe's over here is like, what breed of dog?
Right. The bigger, the better. That Great Dane shit.
I would not eat the dog shit, but I am going to drag the fuck out of this guy for not eating the dog shit after he said he would eat the dog
Oh yeah, no, for sure. He gets dragged, but that all goes back to
He opened himself up to it, man.
don't sign checks that your ass can't cash. Just don't do
Nobody
it.
asked you to put it out there, bro.
Right.
Nobody.
This was unforced air.
Also, Joe, I'm up 39.6% this year, so
That's
suck it. It's not. I got receipts, bro. Ooh, what is this? Oh, it's a nice looking callus. Look
That's
at
a
them
blue-
thighs. Or those calves, though, man.
Yeah, it's called being fat. It's really awesome. It builds your calves up. You should try it. I'll trade you.
Uh-oh, boys. You know what that sound means? That sound means it's time for another Wise Guys Top 10. That's right, week 1. We don't have an update after week 0 because the AP doesn't update after week 0. But the AP is updated now. The coaches polls are updated. So the Wise Guys Top 10 is also getting updated. So here we go, boys. Here is your top 10 college football rankings based entirely off of the odds to win the national championship. At number 10, Scott, Michigan, plus 35.
Uh-oh.
They're right back in it. Sharon gets one win, and they're like, oh, maybe Michigan. Even though they looked like shit against, what was it, Fresno State for 3.5 quarters, all of a sudden they're plus 3,500 to win the title. Number 9, we have a tie. LSU and Tennessee. LSU drops a little bit. Tennessee gains some ground, both of them at plus 3,000. Number 8, Miami, plus 2,500 to win the title. Miami gets one win over Florida. Their recruits go and talk shit to Florida recruits after the game, and they get a little bounce up into the 10 plus 2,500. After Miami, number 7, Penn State, plus 2,000 to win the title. They're going to choke at some point. As soon as they get into big games, they'll fall out. Don't worry. Number 6, Notre Dame, Drew, plus 1,600 to win the title. Just outside that top 4 ranking that doesn't matter for Notre Dame because they're an independent and they can never get a bye. Number 5, Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, plus 1,400. Ole Lane train hanging out there just outside of the top 4 at plus 1,400 odds. You guys ready for the top 4 this week in the Wise Guys Top 10?
Well, I see very familiar names not in this top 10, so here we go.
Yep, there's a couple names that are missing from the top 10, starting with number 4, Alabama. Wow. 1,200.
Georgia and Ohio State.
Even
saw
though
that
Nick
coming?
Saban is not there, Alabama has crept back up to the top 4 with plus 1,200 odds. We have a tie at number 3, though, fellas. Oregon and Texas, both at plus 750. So we got a little tie there. Third place, number 2, Ohio State, plus 400 odds to win the title. And number 1, Georgia.
Them dogs back on top.
What do you guys make of the top 4 here? How we feeling about this?
Meh.
Meh?
It's
What's-
the same
honestly,
thing as it's never been.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's different than last year, other than you've got what was it, Texas in there instead of
Texas
Michigan?
and Oregon?
Well, was it like this last year? But we had Oregon, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Well, it kind of flipped, but yeah, I mean, like you had those consistent 3, but I feel like the split was like Texas, Michigan, and Oregon, Michigan at different points. But yeah, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia are never not going to be in that
Right.
top 4. You can
At least
bet
not
that.
until Georgia loses the SEC championship game. I did see that they put a stat up there this weekend. that
Right,
they're
but
like,
then
43
they'll
and
end
2.
up in this Final Four though. Like
it's
they
true,
may
'cause
not
this-
be in like the voting with the brackets. The
Right.
actual Final Four, they will end up there.
Well, funny you guys say that because we also have the brackets. This is the
All
part.
right, here's the part where Mookie gets confused.
Yes.
Well, I don't even know why we're talking about the bracket yet. We haven't even gotten to a ranking or anything like that.
What are you talking about? We didn't get to a ranking. Scott saying,
Well,
"Bah,
because
God, it's the
really-
confused Mookie music." And Rex, this was not the Lou Holtz wise guys. This is the Lou Holtz college football playoff prediction model. Okay, this is Coach Lou Holtz telling you who's in line to make the playoffs based on our wise guys top 10 poll. So let's get to it, fellas. Fire it up. Here we go.
What were you saying, Coach?
I hate when I have the same brain as Mookie. That was unfortunate. Go ahead, Coach. Sorry, I apologize. That's on me.
That was
I'm
so
blaming myself.
disrespectful to do. Do you realize that? That is so disrespectful.
Miller for three. Oh, he backed it in. We're going to overtime.
Out of the goodness and the kindness of my heart, I lend my time to this show to come on here and give you a college football playoff rankings, and you're going to go ahead and interrupt me with a drop like that? That's so disrespectful.
I for one, I'm sorry, Coach. Like having the same brain as Mookie is not any type of brain you want to be in. I'm sorry.
Son, what do you have to say for yourself?
I can do to try to make it up to you, Lou.
Oh shit. Oh. All right, Coach.
Coach is just mad because I saw it coming, and then I fell into the trap. I totally forgot I was in the character, and I forgot to look at the time. So the truth is, I'm just mad at myself.
I do have a quick tennis story if you want it though.
We don't. Not while Coach is here.
No.
Stop. How
Disney
dare
and
you?
DirecTV are in a fight contractually.
Let's
so they
take a
cut
look at
off-
the poll. Coach Lou Holtz's playoff prediction model here. This is for the playoffs that are coming up. So based on seeding, we're going to go ahead. Georgia clearly is going to be your number one seed. They're going to be the top dog.
That was much better than the TO joke. Thank you, Coach.
Coach Lou Holtz knows a thing or two about jokes. Number two seed is going to be Ohio State. They're going to go ahead and get that 2 seed because they're the big champions or the highest ranked Big Ten team right now. So we're assuming they're going to be a champion. So Georgia 1, Ohio State 2. Number 3, the U is back. ACC championship bound Miami. The U will, and listen, I remember back when Notre Dame played the U in 1988, and all I wanted to do was just rip Jimmy Johnson's head off. But now I'm okay with Mario Cristobal. I think he's a fine, upstanding gentleman. So I would like to see the U there at number 3. Number 4, Utah, the Utes. I always think of my cousin Vinny whenever I see Utah. They would get the number 4 spot as the next highest ranked conference champion. That leaves the last conference champion to get that 12th spot, and that's going to be Boise State. Boise State is the next highest group of 5 champions, so they get the number 12 spot. They'll be going up against Oregon. Oregon number 3 in the rankings, but they're number 5 in the playoffs. This is crazy town, gentlemen. This is absolutely crazy. Number 6 would be Texas. They're taking on LSU at 11. Number 7 is Alabama. Alabama is going to play Penn State. Penn State are ranked number 10 there. And then Ole Miss at the number 8 seed would take on Notre Dame, the University of Notre Dame, number 9. So, gentlemen, when you look at this playoff, what you can see as we go through is it's Georgia versus Ohio State in the championship. Like, what are we even doing here? It's you break it all down, you play some extra games, you make some more money. Georgia versus Ohio State.
The idea that Brian Kelly could still even make it.
I mean, I love that part about it, right?
That is absolutely my favorite
got
part.
the 3 Big Ten teams in here, but not USC, who just beat LSU. Like, that's fantastic. That is wonderful.
It's so great.
That you know what that right there is that's telling you the system is working.
It is working.
Facts.
100%. Oh, I love
You
this.
still think, Lou, you would take the Georgia Bulldogs over your own Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
I think Notre Dame is very much improved. I think Marcus Freeman is doing a damn good job there, but I'm just not sold on Riley Leonard yet. So I feel like the Georgia defense would shut down the Irish. As much as that pains me to say, we would say some prayers and hope for the best. But Georgia's whooping their ass. Georgia's
Oh shit! Oh,
Just
I don't
because
think anything beats a coach breakdown.
I mean, we've got to give the people what they want. And Lou, you don't see James Madison anywhere in this. I mean, that's my big concern.
No. James Madison has a long way to go to get into that top spot. They got a long way to go to catch Boise State. Boise State's got that Group of 5 bid locked. There's nobody that's gonna catch up to Boise State. You just gotta hope that the Boise State they just drop a game, but they're not going to. They're just gonna keep on going, and Boise State's gonna get that last spot.
I mean, when you're scoring 6 rushing touchdowns a game, you would almost think that would be the game where they had 5-minute quarters, but it wasn't. So it says something about the Boise State Broncos.
One last thing, Mookie, you got any questions on the playoffs or how it works? Because I know you tend to get a little confused. The fellas told me.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't understand how we don't like. There's really no SEC representation there. Are we sure this is right?
Good.
So do you know how to count? Because I count.
I was just gonna say, what?
You got Georgia at 1, Alabama at 7, Texas at 6, Alabama or LSU at 11, Ole Miss at 8. What the fuck are you looking at?
It's
I
like
guess you're
half
right.
the SEC.
It's
It's half the SEC.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shit! Yeah, that's more than I thought. All right.
I don't see any SEC representation.
I said I didn't see enough. I only
saw
three.
I thought you said you didn't see any, which would be priceless. But
Oh,
enough,
no. Just
enough
I didn't
is
think
just
it was
as
enough.
egregious. Because I mean, how many more do you want? Like seriously,
Well,
it's half the bracket.
You want the best teams in the playoffs, right? Isn't that what the committee is evaluating? Is the best teams? So like I would have thought like you'd at least have one side would be the SEC.
If you don't spread out the SEC teams, you can't get an all-SEC championship. So you can't put them all on one side.
Oh,
Are you new here? Are you new here?
Clearly. I mean, this is.
Do you not understand what we're trying to do here with this?
I've never had to worry about getting selected to the playoffs in my college football 25 dynasties, so it's really not been something I pay attention to.
Imagine a finals of Lane Kiffin versus Brian Kelly. Like, isn't that what we need?
Ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn for that one.
It would just be ultimate chaos.
Now,
an 8 versus an 11, and those two fucks going toe to toe.
Now, Scott, is that the game where we want to shorten the quarters to 5 minutes to get it over with, or do we want to add the 20 minutes that Stephen F. Austin gave up onto that to make it even longer to see what other kind of shit they pull?
Yeah, no, this has got to be more time.
You want to add on? You would want it to be the overtime, if you will.
Yeah, that game needs to go as long as possible for maximum Brian Kelly just insanity.
Fellas, this show is going very, very long. This is out of control.
Yeah.
We hit the overtime drop 8 minutes ago. Joe Hall has been walking around the fire station on mute for the last 7 minutes. It's getting very awkward. Let's go rapid fire to finish this out. All right. I'm even going to get the intense music so that we feel uncomfortable and we have to like get this through very quickly because there's a lot to get to. Here we go. NFL season, boys, starting up this week. I want you to give me a chug or Drainpour on the following NFL storylines. Real quick, around the horn, no explanation. Just chug it or Drainpour it. The window for the Bills has closed. Scott, chug or Drainpour?
Chug.
Mookie, chug or Drainpour?
Pour drain.
Joe, chug or Drainpour?
Chug it.
The Bears, the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams will win the NFC North. Scott,
Drainpour.
Mookie, chug or Drainpour?
Pour drain.
Joe, chug or drain. All right, a unanimous on that one. Jamar Chase will sit out all year long in a contract dispute with the Bengals? Scott, Chug or Drainpour?
Poor drain.
Mookie, Chug or Drainpour?
Chug.
Ooh, Joe, Chug or Drainpour?
Drainpour.
Okay. Mike McCarthy won't make it through the season as Dallas's head coach. Scott, Chug or Drainpour?
Chug-a-lug-a-lug-a-lug.
Mookie, Chug or Drainpour?
Poor Drain.
Joe, Chug or Drainpour?
Drainpour.
All right. Jim Harbaugh will not lead the Chargers to the playoffs this year. Scott, Chug or Drainpour?
Poor drain.
Mookie, Chug or Drainpour?
Chug.
Joe, Chug or Drainpour?
Chug.
All right. And finally, the Chiefs will three-peat. Scott, Chug or Drainpour?
Poor drain.
Mookie, Chug or Drainpour?
Poor Drain.
Joe, Chug or Drainpour?
Drainpour.
God, I hope you guys are right. I really hope you're right.
I really hope I'm right too.
I can't do it. I can't do another one. I can't take
You
another.
can. Three peats are too hard. Like they'll
There's
stub
no
their
way.
toe.
Something's gonna happen.
I think they'll lose in the AFC Championship game. Let's put it that way.
To the Bengals?
I'm not putting them up to.
Please? Come on.
Unfortunately, I'm like, wait a minute. If they lose in the AFC Championship game, would it be to the Bills? No, I just said they weren't going to go. And I don't believe in the bank. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. They're going to three-peat, aren't they? Shit.
Steelers. It's the Steelers. Just wait.
Oh,
Just
no. There's no way Russell Wilson's doing anything of
gonna
consequence
say,
there
they've
except for
got-
embarrassing himself.
It's what he owes us all. That's all I'm
You
going to
won't
say.
do it. Are you kidding me, Mr.
No, there's no way.
Unlimited
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not doing
Cornball
that?
brother ain't doing shit. Hey, by the way, 15 of us on opening day. NFL record, baby!
Wow.
15!
Damn. That's a
Rooting
lot.
against like 5 of them.
That's a lot.
I know. Statistically, it's not good, but Russ, fuck you.
Statistically, it's not good.
Race card.
All right, real quick baseball story.
Here's the pitch. Oh, shit.
There were Phillies fans that went viral this week, a husband and wife combination. They were wearing jerseys and sitting near the field, and somebody snapped a picture of their jerseys and posted it on the internet, and it went viral, and it was hilarious. The wife was wearing a jersey with the number 9, and the name on the back said Peace. And then the husband was wearing a jersey with the number 6 that said Come in Peace. That's just good comedy right there, ladies and
Nice.
gentlemen. If you're how much convincing do you have to do to tell your wife to wear this to a game?
I don't think any, because you could just tell her you got her a Peace jersey and leave the other part out until you get there.
So you just surprise her with the Come in Peace part?
Don't even risk the chance of her saying no.
All right, there you go. Scott, would you
Now,
try
this is where Caesar would say consent's important, though. Everyone.
No,
It is the 11th commandment.
Phillies fans continue to be the fucking worst. I mean, it's funny, but I also hate Phillies fans.
All right, tennis story. Carlos Alcaraz, best tennis player going right now. Okay, and Joe's gone. Joe's
It sounded like he walked onto a tennis court too for a second. I
Oh,
swear
no.
I heard him
Hey,
hit the
guys.
ball.
I hear the hey guys click. All right, anyways, Joe Hall, everybody. Thank you, Joe, for joining us tonight. Carlos Alcaraz lost in the second round at the U.S. Open. He's like one of the hottest players. He just won the silver medal in the Olympics. World ranked number 1. Great tennis player. He was minus 10,000 odds to win the second round matchup. So they better place the bet to try and make some easy money. $25,000 bet placed on Carlos Alcaraz to win the match, which would have won $250 if Carlos Alcaraz didn't lose that second round match. This better lost $25,000 trying to win $250. My man, you got a problem at that point. Like that's a problem.
Or
Oh, and here comes the DJ.
yeah, the system that just
Dave said
didn't
move
quite
forward.
work out that time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, because he's probably got that much money thrown around where he's chasing all of those odds on all of the favorites in the U.S. Open, and then just stacking them into later rounds in the bracket. I can see how it works.
Who isn't having fun because you're the party's degenerate gambler.
Hasn't been there all show, so
So
we had to make sure to get it in. Thanks.
Well done, Scott. Final thing to talk about, because we got to talk about this. Joey Chestnut squared off against Kobyashi yesterday on Labor Day in a wiener take all is what Netflix was billing at. $100,000 up on the line once and for all, figure out who the best eater was. Kobyashi obviously dominant until he ran into Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut never really had to face Kobyashi again after he took him down. And then he obviously has gone to crazy heights. They meet yesterday on Labor Day. Joey Chestnut downs 83 hot dogs, a new world record
in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Jesus
But
Christ.
guys, this was not outside. This was indoors. This is likely air conditioned. There were certain things you weren't allowed to separate the hot dog and the bun. You weren't allowed to dip it into water. So there was definitely other things at play, but you didn't have the July 4th heat that you normally get at Coney Island. Does it have an asterisk? That's all I'm asking. Does it have an asterisk?
No. Do not do that to Joey. You know he would kick this much ass anywhere, anytime. This is just where he was asked to dominate.
Again.
Period.
Yeah. Scott, is there an asterisk?
Indoor Super Bowl champs still win the Super Bowl. Period.
My man.
There's no asterisk. Like anywhere, anytime, any place. Fucking Kobyashi would have got it. In fact, I'm not saying the win has an asterisk.
That makes they were eating under the same conditions. Does the record have an asterisk? Because it happened in an environment that isn't where this record has normally been.
But it was harder because they weren't allowed to dunk and stuff. Like this was arguably
harder. Allowed to drink water, Sarah. They just weren't allowed to dunk. Yes, Gabe is correct. He's going to be in Cincy this weekend. He's going to be doing the halftime show at the Bengals game. It's Joey Chestnut in a 5-on-1 Oktoberfest bratwurst eating contest, I think.
Why is he not on the show tonight?
Because we had Joe Hall.
It's okay somebody to explain to me why Dan Hurley is like the leader of the jungle and that fucking Joey Chestnut's here at halftime. Non-Cincinnati folks all up in this shit, huh?
You know why Dan Hurley's here's the
because we're trying to keep him in the Big East.
No, fuck that. Get him out of the Get the fuck out, Dan Hurley. Like I wish you would have taken the Lakers job. UConn could stay. You go.
No, whoa. Let's not go that far. He's fine where he's at if he was going to be between that and the Lakers job. Fuck the Lakers. We don't need them becoming any type.
All I'm saying is that job was available to him, and I would have liked to see him there instead of UConn. But no, Darren Hurley, he's a noted Bengals fan. He loves the Bengals. He actually dropped a hooday a couple times after a game, and I think it's head games because they're playing the Patriots. UConn, very close to New England. Little head games on the Patriots because that's what you got to do to beat a team led by whoever the fuck. Is it Mac Jones? I don't even know who the Patriots quarterback is. They've fallen off so much. Mookie, that is the correct.
They just drafted one of them new kids.
So hard against the Pats. They suck.
I know that was the joke. Like they don't have to do that, but they're trying to play head.
Tee.
Dynamite dropping, Mookie.
Dorian says Joey is the glizzy king. No diddy. And Tank saying Joey Chestnut would eat at Arrowhead in January if you paid him. You got him
without a shirt.
But would he hit 83? That's the only question. I'm just saying.
You're right. You're right. He would hit 83. He'd hit 85.
Yeah, there could be risks involved.
Fellas, I'm not.
Gabe pointing out that's one of our black brothers.
Oh, Jacoby. Great Twitter follow until he became a starter. He was a great
piling around.
Jacoby Brissett, or a stoner I went to high school with. Oh, what a time to be alive that was. All right, let's talk about these beers that we were drinking. We're rating them on Caesar scale, dog or no dog. Throwing out the question about Joey Chestnut. That's all. I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm just saying
he's GOAT.
Is it valid?
Super valid.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just take all things into consideration, Scott. Tell us about your beer, and then to really think this over. Is it? Really
I'm thinking about how this week Fat Man Scoop passed away, and I am ironically drinking Blue Moon Scoop
So I don't know. Maybe there's a tie in there. Probably not. But this is from 450 North Brewing Company. It's dog as fuck. It's got all the flavors mixed in. I think I'm a sour guy, man. As long as these sours keep hitting like this, I'm all the way in.
Trader.
I know.
Yes. Turning your back on us, Scott. It's saying you're a sour guy and not a stout man.
No, I mean stouts forever, but I'm saying like the sours went from like, oh, I'll try them because they're beer to, yo, is that a sour? I'm in. Like, let's go.
Yeah, that's the first step. Mookie, what was in your mug?
It's a gateway brew is what I'm hearing. Sours. I, on the other hand, had a good old-fashioned American IPA from Canada. Van full of weirdos. A very nice, juicy IPA. Absolute dog. Can't wait to have it again at some point if it ever crosses the border.
I was drinking from New Belgium, their summer lime lager, and then I had the Juice Force IPA. They're absolute dogs. These beers are fantastic. Rex wanting to know, Mike, how was the show? This was a show, fellas. That's what this was. This was the show. We did it. We showed up. We fulfilled our contractual obligations. We talked about shit way too much on this show, but it was a show, man.
It was a show.
Mookie, how's your draft? You good?
It looks pretty god awful when you put it all together, but I feel like every time I made a pick, it's like this is the best option. So
sorry to hear that. We didn't even
whatever. We'll scratch our way into the playoffs.
We'll get a fantasy football minute next week. Now that you've got your team drafted, we'll actually have results for you guys to talk about. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. The comments are fire every single week. Thank you for all of you that tune in. We see the same names popping up every single week. It's awesome. New names here and there. That's fantastic too. If you have a friend that would like the show, hit that share button, send them the link, be like, yo, you gotta check these guys out. They talk about shit for like 25 minutes. It's crazy. And then a guy does a Lou Holtz impression for far too long, and it kind of kills the show. But it's a good time. Go check them out. So do that. Help us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that like button. Let's grow this bitch. Also follow us Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're on all of those at Crafty Sports. Join the Facebook group. It's the only real reason to have Facebook anymore. Shout out Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com. Tons of great content there. The Belly Up Sports Media Network. Go sub, rate, review all of those pods as well. We will see you all next week. Cheers, everybody.
I feel like Connor Stallions is just misunderstood.
You'll never walk alone, dog.
I don't know much about your show or what's going on.